Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today I'm doing a really fun project. I'm gonna start my entire herb garden from seed. I like to grow kind of a variety of herbs every year to use in cooking and in the garden. I like to dry some and save it for winter cooking. But this year I'm gonna start everything from seed, and these will eventually get planted in my Greenstalk vertical garden. Now I purchased my Greenstalk garden last year and I grew herbs in it and I really loved it. I also grew some radishes, kale, and lettuce in there, so I will probably do the same thing this year. But anyway, today I'm gonna be starting all of my seeds. And I'm gonna be using this 24 cell tray. This is from Gardener's Supply. This is the Grow Ease seed starting kit. It comes with a humidity dome. It also comes with an extra tray and a wicking mat that can be a self-watering feature. I'm probably just going to use it as a basic cell tray because once these herbs get a little bigger in size, I'm going to be potting them up into 4-inch containers so they can get sizable before I actually plant them out in the garden. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I did was I pre-moistened my seed starting mix, and I use a Pro Mix BX mix. This is what I use for all of my seed starting and if I do any soil blocking. So I put it in a big Rubbermaid container, I add water, and I mix it until it is soaked, but when I squeeze it, it holds shape but doesn't drip the water out. Next, I just fill my tray and I pack it down a little bit and make sure that all of the spots are nice and full, and then I level it out and it's ready to go. So pre-moistening your seed starting mix is very important. I do that for everything. It helps keep the moisture in when you're doing your seed starting, but also helps keep the seeds in place. If you just put the mix in here without moistening it, and then you watered it in, your seeds are gonna go everywhere, they're gonna get lost in the soil, and then they're gonna have trouble germinating. So always moisten your seed starting mix. The other supplies I need for this project are my mister. This is linked below in my Amazon link in the description. This is going to settle the seeds into the soil. I need a garden marker. I'm going to use this to mark my tags. This does not fade like a Sharpie. Very handy. This is also linked down below. And then I need my garden tags to, of course, mark what herbs I'm starting. So now I just need to pick out the herbs that I'm starting. This container is all of my vegetables and my herbs and pumpkins, all of those things. I keep all of these separate from my flower seeds. And in this container right here, it's got 4 different sections. I've got it kind of tomatoes and peppers, carrots, melons, beets, things like that I direct seed. And then in the back, I've got like beans, peas, squashes. But this one are herbs and early direct seeded things like lettuces, kale, radishes. That is all in here. So I just need to go through and pick out what herbs I'm going to start today. So I'm just gonna go through these really quick, and I'm gonna take all of the herb packets out, put them in a pile, and then I'll go through them with you and tell you what I'm gonna start. Any of the lettuce or kale that I'm gonna be growing in my Greenstalk garden, I will direct sow that out there in the spring. No need to start that ahead of time. And also while I'm going through this, things like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, those early vegetables, I'm probably going to be starting this week as well because those can get planted out in my garden very early with a little dome over the top. They're cool season crops and they don't want to grow in the heat of the summer. You can start lettuce ahead of time if you want to, but you definitely don't have to. All right, I've got my herbs sectioned out. Let's see how many I have. So the first one's chamomile. I definitely want to start this one. I'd like to dry this and have it for tea. Cilantro, definitely want to do that one because that's going to go in fresh salsas. I think I have multiple packages of basil, and I definitely want basil. Greek oregano, that's a great one. Common sage, definitely want to start some sage. Parsley, I have a German winter thyme. Here's another basil. I pulled celery out. This is not going to go in my Greenstalk garden, but if I have some cells left over in this tray, I want to go ahead and get this started. I probably should have started it already, so I'm just going to set that off to the side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have 24 cell trays. So I can start 2 or 3 of each and I'll have plenty of room. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little tab for each one of my herbs. Then I'm going to place them in my cell tray. Some I'm going to do 2 each, some I'm going to do 3 each. All right, so I've got my tray filled. I ended up doing 2 of each herbs, except I'm doing 4 basil and then the 8 celery. I think that will be plenty. So now it's just a matter of planting all the seeds. So a lot of times your seed packet will have a lot of information on the back and it will tell you exactly how to plant your seeds. If you have a seed packet that does not give you that information, just Google it, or I like to go to the Johnny's website because they have growing information on every single variety of seeds that they have, and that will tell you exactly how to plant it. But let's start with the common sage, and this says plant seeds 1/4 inch deep. Now it also will tell you the distance to plant your seeds apart or to thin your seeds to. I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm going to start multiple seeds per cell and then I can always thin them later. Sometimes with plants such as basil, I like to sow them pretty intensively and then not even thin them to one plant because I like to have multiple stocks per cell. Sage can sometimes get pretty hefty, so this is one that I may want to thin to just one plant. But for now, I'm going to sow multiple seeds per cell and I'll thin them later. This little tool is called a dibber, and these are really handy when you're starting seeds. So I'm just going to make a few holes. Again, this is the sage I'm starting with. Sage seeds are really big and easy to plant. These seeds are a few years old. So I have 3 holes and I'm going to drop 3 seeds per hole. And depending on what comes up, I can thin them later. I made the holes about 1/4 inch deep. Now I'm just lightly covering the seeds with soil. And then you want to mist them in. So that is it. It's really easy. As far as planting instructions for the rest of these herbs, I will go through it really, really quickly just in case you want to make a note on a piece of paper. Basil is 1/4 inch deep. Cilantro is 1/4 inch deep. Thyme you sow on top of the soil. It needs light to germinate. Oregano, it says barely cover it with soil. Chamomile needs light to germinate, so I'm going to sow these on the top of the surface as well. And parsley is 1/4 inch deep. And celery is about 1/8 inch deep, so I'm going to barely cover this one as well. All right, I'm going to get these all planted. I will get them misted in, and then I will show you where these go down under my grow lights. Okay, so we're downstairs in my grow room, and I've got a lot of things going. I'm really excited. On this shelf is all flowers, and then if we move over to this shelf, this is where the herbs landed. They are right here. They are on a heat mat, and they're sharing a heat mat with a little meal container that's in the back. But these will remain on the heat mat until I see all of the cells have a really good germination. Once that happens, I'll take this humidity dome off and then I will remove the tray from the heat mat. And then they will continue to grow under the lights till they are big enough to pot up into the 4-inch pots. And then from there, they will continue to either stay under the lights here or get moved out into the greenhouse if it's warm enough. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this quick project. I'll make sure to keep you updated on when they are growing well and potting up into those 4-inch pots. And then of course, when I plant them out in the Greenstalk. And I will keep you updated on all the rest of my seeds starting throughout the season. Hope you're having a great day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and we'll see you soon.